Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing something new on my channel, or something for the first time on my channel, and that is going to be trying to read for 24 hours. Now, I know a lot of people do 24-hour readathons. That is not a great option for me. As a mom, I am a stay-at-home mom, so I need to be a functioning member of society, and if I stayed up for 24 hours straight, I assure you I would not be. So I'm going to probably be doing a timer method over the course of some time. However, before we get into that, we are in the final stretch of my Kickstarter for my TBR board game, Shrink the Shelf. If you guys are new here, this is a TBR board game I made. There are plenty of videos explaining it, me playing it on my channel, but this game is currently on Kickstarter only until June 7th, and we are in the last little stretch, and we are so close to being fully funded. If you don't know how Kickstarter works, if we do not reach our funding goal, we will not be able to go into production, and we are so close. So there are two versions of the game on Kickstarter: the standard edition, which comes with everything you need to play, $40, and then the deluxe / Kickstarter exclusive, which is $60, which comes with an additional board to hold all of the prompt cards, an extra prompt category for an expansion pack, and then a to buy books or not to buy books decision coin, which is really fun. But if you wanted this game, if you've ever seen it and been like, oh my gosh, I really want this, or if you want it as a gift for someone, or you think it's just fun and you want to donate, you can do all of those things. Just please head to the link in the description and get the game now, because we are in crunch time. If we do not hit the goal, it's not going to happen. But so that is my just announcement on this for now, and we're gonna go ahead and get into the 24 hours of reading. So I have read only 2 books this whole month. I've just been doing a lot of other stuff. I feel like I've just been hanging out with my fam a good bit more, and I've also recently been watching some shows, which I haven't been watching TV in like a long time, so it's been kind of fun. But also, of course, my needle pointing takes up a lot of my time. I'm doing him in velvet, which is really fun, but I also started doing some of his hat, but mostly doing the pig's face right now. I should just listen to audiobooks while I needlepoint, but I've been watching TV. But it's getting warmer outside, and I really want to be reading outside and hanging out in the pool with Graham. Don't really think I can read and hang out with him, but regardless. So it is a long weekend. Jordan's here, so I think I might be able to sneak in some more reading while Graham is awake. But we're gonna go ahead and start the timer. I'm currently halfway, literally I'm halfway through 2 books. I started one and then something happened and I got distracted, and I think it's just, I started at the beginning of the month and I got like 50% of the way through When the Moon Hatched. I just need to finish it. But I am currently this far into A Warrior's Fate, and let me tell you just some tidbits about this before I get started. This I wanted to DNF until I hit 50%, and finally stuff started happening. This was a slog. I'm pretty sure that's why I haven't been reading, because it was killing me. Like at 50, literally I think when it's on Kindle Unlimited, so I've been reading it on my Kindle wherever she may be. But I like to do this so I can see, like, yeah, I made progress. I mean, it just felt like nothing was happening. And so to tell you the premise of this book, Isla, I think is her name. This is werewolves, or wolves. Are they all technically werewolves? I don't know. Regardless, didn't realize that when I started it. I should have known, because the series is called The Wolves of Morai. Just decided to not notice that one. She finds her fated mate like on page 1, and they basically decide like, I want to live my life, you want to live your life. We're just gonna not become mates and we'll just power through. Underneath all of that, there's like this weird, what's going on with our government, people are lying to us, mystery you're trying to uncover, and like these murders. So that's really what I would say the plot is so far. But yeah, literally when my Kindle hit 50%, it finally started picking up, and I was like, oh, it's getting more interesting, and I looked at my Kindle, it was 51%. So right now I don't think I would recommend this. I'm finally invested, but this is a 650 page book, and it took me 300 pages to be interested. So anyways, where's my Kindle? Here it is. I'm going to start the timer, and we're gonna try this for the first time ever. Hello. It is now 8:48. And I have 22 hours and 7 minutes left. I read kind of like intermittently while Graham played with Jordan, but I can't set up my tripod in the room when Graham's playing, because he will just go and just grab a hold and yank it. But I'm determined to finish this book. Jordan is making me a coffee so that maybe I can stay up a little bit later reading, which would be really nice. But I'm at 86%. My Kindle says I have an hour and 20 minutes left, which I don't love. I have predicted like 900% of everything that has happened. So I don't know if I am. There is one thing that I'm like, I don't understand what's happening, and I would love to get some clarity on that one, but obviously there's other books in the series, so I might not get it. And currently I don't know if that would motivate me enough to read the next book. I would probably just Google it. Right now I say it's like a 2.5 star. Like, I've definitely read, unfortunately, worse books, and the writing style's not my favorite, but I just feel like the stuff that happens really fast. Like, the important stuff is for like a chapter, and then you could skip like 10 chapters and you wouldn't miss anything. I'm at 86%. We'll finish this, and I don't know if I'm gonna set up the camera for while I read because Jordan's getting in bed and reading with me. I will at least hopefully check in with you before I pick the next book, but we will see.
The next day.
Finished this last night. I don't remember at what point I finished it, maybe like around 11. Definitely like a 2.5 star. I have read worse things. I didn't love the writing, and a lot of stuff felt like it was kind of taken from other books, but I agreed with so many of the Goodreads ratings were like, this book needed to be 300 pages shorter. It was my biggest issue was it was way too long. I don't think I will continue the series, but I will say there was a reveal that I wasn't expecting. The rest of the stuff I was like, okay, yeah. So finally read this, but was not for me. Then I was like, I don't know what to read next. I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to read just a fun romance. I've read two 2-star books back to back now, which is maybe why I was feeling a little slumpy. I'm now not feeling slumpy at all. I do not even know how late I stayed up last night, but I only have 18 hours left on my timer because I stayed up much later than I thought I was going to because I started Not Another Love Song by Julie Soto. This is the same author as Forget Me Not. I'm trying to see where it is on my shelf. This book. And I love this book. It's a wedding planner and a florist, and he doesn't really want to be a florist. He's like, oh, I don't want to be a florist. Also, they make a cameo multiple times in this book. This book is not out yet, by the way. I think it comes out in July. But these are two musicians, a violinist and a cellist. I can't. I was just flying through it because it's so good. Like, I was like kicking my feet and giggling. I wish I had been filming, but alas, we were in bed, so I did not. Julie Soto is for sure in my category of like favorite romance authors. I'm not gonna say her writing is like as beautiful or necessarily like impactful as Abby Jimenez and Emily Henry, but she's probably in my top 3 with them too. Her stuff makes me kick my feet and giggle, and I'm just like the whole time I read. So anyways, I started this and I've been reading a little bit this morning. I think I read for like an hour so far this morning. I only have 6% left. I'm at 94%. So I figured I'd, maybe film a little bit of reading for you guys. And then I don't know, we'll have to figure out together what I'm gonna read next because I honestly don't know. I am like 60% of the way through When the Moon Hatched, so I could try to get back into that, but I don't know how much I really wanna read a fantasy right now, so I might read something else that's not fantasy. Although this book just came in the mail, I'm very excited about. This is a fantasy book that is based off of national parks, which I think is so cool. So I might read this, I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to go back and read the last little bit of this. They had their traumatic third act nonsense, and now hopefully there's some resolve. All the issues will be resolved. going to be so honest with you. I do not remember the last thing I told you. I finished Another Love Song, and I don't think I told you that. And if I did, I'll see you in 2 seconds when I cut to me after this. Wow, this piece of hair. I was out in I got a fun little pool from Sam's Club for like $30 for a gram, because I was just like, he's got a water table outside, which is the best, but sometimes I sit out there and I get really warm. Well, like, I'm always out there, but you know what I mean? I get warm. And I was like, okay, so we found this pool. Anyways, besides the point, but my hair is crazy because I was out in the pool with him this morning. Anyways, I finished Another Love Song. I don't remember what time I showed you guys last. I don't know how long it took me, but I only have that much time left. It's also Sunday. I finished that book yesterday, and then I wasn't sure what book I was going to read, and I started Renegades. I'm actually really loving it, but for some reason I just really want to read a romance now again. So I might try to like read a little bit of this, but also read a romance. And I think I'm gonna read Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. All that's beside the point. I loved Not Another Love Song. I love Forget Me Not. It's so good. It's one of my favorite romances. You guys should just read this because like the music, they're both musicians, and like the musical part of their romance, I was just like the whole time. It was so good. I don't really know how to explain the plot, except like he's very standoffish in the beginning. He's kind of like this famous, not classical musician, but he plays like rock covers with a cello, and she is in a pop orchestra, and they're both dealing with stuff and their feelings for each other. But it was just, I loved it so much. I gave it 5 stars. And I had 2 stars back to back, so that was a win. Now, Renegades I started just a little bit after that because I was like, I think Funny Story, I read it at the beginning of the month, and I think that's what put me in a book slump kind of thing where I just wasn't in the mood to read necessarily. And so I'm 54 pages into this. I'm actually really, really liking it. It's 551 pages, so I definitely think I want to finish this. I don't know if I'll finish it today. Now that I'm talking about it, I'm like, do I want to read Just for the Summer or do I want to read this? I might read Just for the Summer and then switch back over to the Renegades. Anyways, my goal is to finish a book today in my reading time of this 24-hour readathon. That is going to take me like 6 days at this point because of how I am in my mom brain. I'm also almost done with my stamp. He's so cute. But I should stop stitching and should just read. So I'm gonna start Just for the Summer and we'll see. I love Abby Jimenez, so I feel like I'm gonna get sucked in. The premise of that one just sounds really funny to me, that these people both, they're like the stepping stone for the person that they date. They always come before the person that they get engaged to, which I just think is funny. So I'm gonna start that, I think. It's 12:40. Which means Grandma's probably not going to sleep much longer, but Jordan is still home because it's a long weekend, and plus it's Sunday. But, so I should be able to read. I'm hoping to get down, so the timer's at 16. I want to get us at minimum under 12. I'd like to hit halfway today, so we'll see how we do. Jordan's currently reading The Well of Ascension and Mistborn. He has passed me. I'm reading that. Never in our reading relationship has he read a fiction book, gotten past me. Like, I've always read a whole series and then been like, oh, you should read this. So now I'm like, I need to read my book. Anyways, we're gonna start a book now. I'll see you later. So I finished 2 books. I don't even remember if I told you guys that I started Just for the Summer. I think I said I was going to and see if I wanted to stick with it. Shocker. I stuck with it and read it basically, I think, in 2 sittings yesterday. Is the next day. And then right after Graham went to bed, I've gotten Jordan started on reading Brandon Sanderson. And so he had read Mistborn, and I can't remember when he finished it, fairly recently. And I told him, I was like, maybe if we buddy read The Well of Ascension, it'll motivate me to read it, because you guys know that I have been putting that book off for like almost a year, if not exactly a year. Because I read Mistborn last May. So it's been a year since I read the first one. So I was like, okay, what should I read next? And he was like, you should read Well of Ascension, because he passed where I was. I was at 25% on my Kindle. And so he was like, you should read Well of Ascension because you need to catch up. So then I started reading it, and then we were talking about it. And then we were reading outside, playing while Graham was playing with his water table. And then we were reading during Graham's nap, and poof, I finished it. It took me a while. I mean, I started it, I think, with like 10 hours left on the timer, maybe. It took me a while. I mean, those books are just so long. Oh my gosh, I get to take it off the book cart now. I'm so excited. Okay, so first let's talk about Just for the Summer. Loved it. Love Abby Jimenez's writing. I read The Friend Zone literally, I think, sometime when I was in college. Whenever it came out, I think I just randomly bought it at Target and read it on spring break. And before BookTok, before any of that, and I really, really liked it. And then I bought, what's the second one? The Happy Ever After playlist? Is that the second one? And that thing, I'm sorry this camera angle is so weird. I just have, the tripod is very strange because Graham keeps running around. But Jordan and him ran to the store, and so I pulled it out really quick. And I want to get back into reading, so I didn't think I was going to talk for very long. I really loved those, and I love the first one. I haven't read the other two. I need to. And so then I read Part of Your World and Yours Truly, and I'm obsessed. I love like everything that those characters go through and what they represent and how she writes stuff that just feels so real. Her and Emily Henry's writing to me just feels like real people, real stuff. And this one I loved so much. She's a travel nurse. I mean, this one was a lot. I feel like this one was heavier than her other ones have been, but this girl's a travel nurse. I think I told you guys. She meets this guy basically off of a Reddit thread. All that to say, I just really, really loved it. Her writing is just so easy to get through. I definitely recommend it. I really loved it. 5 stars. It was great. So then I got into The Well of Ascension, which again, I've been trying to read forever. I think I'm probably sitting right now at like a 4.5, 4-star, because the writing is just so good, but there was just so many points where it felt kind of slow for me. But like a SJM book, the last 20% of these books is just, you're like, you can't put it down. I'm like tap, 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 tap. So anyways, that was just absolutely cuckoo bananas delightful. I cannot believe I finished that. But so now I can read The Hero of Ages, and I would finally have finished Mistborn Era 1. Now that there's only one book standing between me and finishing Mistborn Era 1, I feel very motivated. Plus reading it with Jordan is really fun. So the only book I've started, so I'm still 50% of the way through When the Moon Hatched. I have 5 hours left on the timer. I started Renegades. It's really easy, really fun. I do really want to read that one. I don't know if maybe I could just jump into When the Moon Hatched since I just came from such a high fantasy. It should be able to still hold my attention, I think. But I also really want to read Expiration Dates by Rebecca Searle. I'm not sure. So I'm gonna start reading one. Whichever one I start reading, I'll show you. And then we'll see. Depending on which one I read, I think I could probably finish one more book for sure, and then maybe start another one. But we'll see. Sorry that I didn't update you that I finished a book, and then I finished 2. Whoops. Hello, excuse the lighting. It's 9 o'clock at night and I'm in our bedroom. We're about to read some. I don't think I read it all yesterday and maybe even not the day before. I don't know, but today is Wednesday and I need to finish this so that I can get it up. I just haven't been reading because I've been doing stuff for the Kickstarter and to help Graham and other things. I'm really glad I took a screenshot. I was always screenshotting it whenever I turned the timer, like whenever I paused it, because Graham will like grab my phone and then run around and swipe on the home screen and seems to always manage to take pictures of himself. And so I screenshotted it, and I had screenshotted it at one point. It was 17 hours, so that's what my new timer was. But then I screenshotted it again because he like ran off with my phone. I was like, oh crap. So I've got 4 hours, 56 minutes, and 20 seconds left, and I'm going to keep reading The Renegades. I don't know how late I'm gonna stay up tonight. I'll probably get at least 2 hours, but I'm going to finish this between today and tomorrow. And then tomorrow night I have book club, so I'm gonna have to finish it the time between tonight and then like during the nap and maybe when Jordan gets home from work. So I'm on page 55. It's chapter 4. I'm using junk mail as my bookmark, so let's switch that. I'm at my nightstand, so that means all my good bookmarks are in here. You know what? Let's do the Emily Henry bookmark. I love that. So we'll switch to that one and we'll be good to go. We're gonna lay down, read. I love how the timer isn't up because why would it be? There we go. I hit pause and then go. So now he's up there. So we're gonna see how far we get. I'm hoping I can finish this in this time. I should be able to. The font is really big. There's only 540 pages, but I like our lamps on candlelight mode, and this is really bright, but it should be good enough for me to read. So let's get started. Hello, good morning. I have an hour and 50 minutes left. I did a little bit of reading while Graham was down for his nap. I think I only got to read for like 30 minutes because I had other stuff to do. And I am a good chunk of the way through. I'm on page 318 of I think like 550-ish. I really like this. This is a very fun... I don't feel like you get to read about superheroes a lot. Like I feel like fantasy and sci-fi don't necessarily have like superheroes. And at first I was like, oh, I think this is reminding me of like Marvel movies. I love Marvel movies. And then I think it's actually giving me like Incredibles vibes, if that makes sense. But I'm really, really liking this. I'm curious to see where this goes. I just read a part where I was not expecting something to happen that happened. And I was kind of sad that Graham decided to wake up right now, but alas, it's time for us to play with our Hot Wheels and whatnot. But I'm really enjoying this. Like right now, this feels like a 4.5 star read. I don't know if it's necessarily giving me like 5 stars. I'm so obsessed. I need to talk about this to everybody, but like definitely like 4.5 right now. So I'll see you guys later. I have book club tonight, so I don't know. Depending on what time I get back tonight, I will be able to either finish the 2 hours or I'm gonna have to do it tomorrow during nap time. But regardless, I'm almost done having read for 24 hours. Not straight, but I have read for 24 hours. Did not know I could read so many books in this amount of time. But yep, I gotta go get Graham. So I'll talk to you guys later. I only have 15 minutes left and I'm on page 528 and it's like 550 pages. So I'm gonna finish. Hopefully. I just finished this and I honestly think I should give it 5 stars. Like I really, really liked this. Graham woke up, I think a little bit, like maybe a couple minutes ago, and he's just laying in bed talking. So I need to go get him and I'm gonna think about it, I guess. And I'm just gonna read, I don't know, something for 5 minutes and then we'll be all done. But I cannot believe, I need to look at how many books I've read in this 24-hour span of reading. I feel like it's a lot more than I thought it would be. But yeah, yay! It was really good. Okay, for my 6 minutes and 11 seconds left, I'm gonna read a little bit of expiration dates. I would love to read the second book in the Renegades, but I don't have it, so I can't do that. And I started this and I don't think I put a bookmark in, so I need to figure out like what page I'm on. I'm only like 2 chapters in, so gonna read this for just a few minutes and then we'll be done. But this one is about a girl who gets, every time she like meets someone or a guy, she gets a note that says how long they're going to be in her life. So like 3 weeks, 10 years, explanation, you know, things like that. Or I guess it's how long they're gonna be together. And so she finally gets one when she meets this guy that has no end date on it. So I need to figure out where I am in the book. Okay, I'm on page 22. So let's do some reading. Just a little bit, and then we'll wrap all this up. Okay, so, oh my gosh, I just kicked the camera. Okay, sorry, I had to finish that chapter. So I got to page 34. I'm really interested in this book, and it's really short, so I think I'll probably read it and have a good time with that. But now we need to chat about the Renegades, and I do think this is going to be like a really good book for the summer. Like, people that haven't read this, you should probably pick up Expiration Dates. I feel like this is going to be a really good beach read that we're going to see a lot of people have, but maybe that's just me. I loved this so much. I went to see if they had the second book in stock in either of my bookstores in town, and neither of them did, which was really upsetting. So I ordered it online, and I think it gets here Tuesday. But I haven't had the urge to just like binge a completed series in a long time, and I just want to read the next 2 of these and enjoy all of it. So I'm really excited because I loved this. I've decided on 5 stars. Honestly, I really, really love this. I wish I'd read this in like high school. I feel like it would have been peak high school reading for me. I would have had a good old time, but this is so fun. The superheroes is so cool. And like I said, it just kind of makes me think of like The Incredibles almost, but I love the morally gray aspects, and I really love all of the characters. And there's a very fun, like diverse group of characters and like their superhero abilities and whatnot. And there were some twists that I wasn't expecting and some like things that happened that I didn't see coming. So I really, really liked this, and I'm excited for the next one. But yeah, I gave this 5 stars. And then, you know, I just read a little bit of Expiration Dates, but I really like it so far. It's very interesting. If you've read Tom Lake, it's like storytelling vibe, kind of reminds me of that. So real quick, let me recap what all we read, because honestly, I don't even remember. Ooh, okay. I did A Warrior's Fate, Not Another Love Song, Just for the Summer, The Well of Ascension, and Renegades. So 5 books. One I was like halfway through, and one I was like 25% of the way through. But I think that's pretty good. We had a 2.5 star, 3 5 stars, and a 4.5 star. So, I mean, that feels like a good 24 hours of reading to me. I am delighted by that. Yay, that was so... It was nice to be able to get some books in, because I was really sad that I'd only read 2 books. It's not like me to have not read at least like 5, I would say. Like 1 a week is my kind of normal. But yeah, that is it for this. Thank you guys so much for watching. And when you guys are seeing this, the Kickstarter is almost at the end. There's 4-5 days left. It ends June 7th. We are so close to being able to put this game out there in the world, put it in your hands. But if we are not fully funded, it is not going to happen right now. So please, 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 if you think my TBR board game looks like something you want, go over to the Kickstarter. Link is in the description. Go get it right now. Go get it right now. And if you don't want it, but you want to support the bookish community, you can also just donate on Kickstarter. But please, if it is not fully funded, it will not be happening at this time. So head over there, help a girl out. pretty please. This is like my work baby, if you will, because certainly not my real baby. But thank you guys so much, and I will see you very soon for my June TBR. Bye.